Hey everyone, welcome to the Weeb Lounge. I'm Nick, and we just finished our first full playthrough of Atelier Ryza. And here's our thoughts. Atelier Ryza, it's not one of those super popular RPGs that everyone clamors about. It's a long-running series of games. Primarily, the audience is in Japan. It's a JRPG, and it's kind of niche in all reality. At first, we didn't think we were going to like this game. We didn't think we were going to like it at all. One of our big things is we hate an overabundance of crafting. Craft this, craft that, go here, gather this. And for the longest time, we kind of put off this series because we thought that, we thought it was just going to be a pain. We really thought it was just going to be a huge pain. So it was pretty surprising to us when not only did we enjoy this game, we got addicted to the crafting mechanic. We put just about 50 hours in, got our first playthrough, and we were just surprised. We really were surprised. Anyways, quick overview of the characters. Main character, Rosalind Stout. Ryza, of course. I'll tell her Ryza. She's just kind of like a country bumpkin. That's her right there. That, just lives her life, a normal day, trouble, little kid running around town causing trouble and everything. And one thing goes to another and finds out she is a very adept alchemist. Alchemy in this game is crafting for everything. She has a couple friends. Tao, he is a short dude, wears glasses. He's kind of like the mage wizard character. Definitely a bookworm, but very intelligent. And then you all have Lent. Lent is the muscle-bound guy, the musclehead that, not terribly smart, not terribly, going to craft stuff, stuff like that. He's the warrior class. He's the beast class. But he's smarter than I give him credit for because he knows that he doesn't necessarily kind of have the smarts to do all this alchemy or other things, but he's really good at combat. And to know and accept that as a person, I give him props. The other characters are Lila. Lila is the girl with the claws that you see fighting on the screen. She is from the underworld, an other world not associated with Ryza's original one. She is an incredibly busty girl, can do a lot of damage, and wears what seems to be a thong over pantyhose. We're not complaining, we're just saying, And then there's Empel, okay, or Empel. He's the guy standing in the back that you see once in a while. He's a alchemist that kind of showed up in Ryza's hometown doing investigations and such. And this is where Ryza grew her interest to start doing alchemy. Turns out she's a lot better than Empel. Empel is also kind of like a support wizard DPS character. And then you have Bose. Bose, boss, Bose. It's BOS instead of BOSS, but it's boss. Boss, Bose. Whatever. He's just another side character. You don't actually get to have him in your group. He's that character, like the first time you meet him, the first thing he says, this guy is going to be a complete jerk. He's going to be that guy that wants to undermine you just because you're you. The first thing I said when I saw this character is like, okay, I kind of know my JRPGs. This guy's going to be trouble. Just off him now. Just get rid of him now. They didn't do that, and then they tried to do this half-hearted thing where he changes and tries to be a better person, and he does, but nobody cares at that point. Is what it is. Now, the fighting system I actually really did like. It was unique, but I'd have to say it's a little chaotic. I'm one who always really enjoyed turn-based mechanics. Now, this fight that just started here, this is one of the elementals. It's a bigger, harder, deadlier fight. Chances are Empel is going to die in this. For whatever reason, he dies in like every big fight that I have. Don't know why. He's prone to death. And you'll see that first thing on the right side of the screen, tactics level. Okay, tactics level is increased by the AP increasing. Every action that you do can generate that AP. It ticks up, it ticks up, it ticks up. And then once it reaches cap, you hit a button and it drains it all and increases tactics level. What's the benefit of increasing your tactics level? You get more attacks, you do a little bit more damage, and if you get to tactics level 5, you can unleash someone's final, oh my god, destroy the world order. But if you, like fatal order, fatal drive, if you execute that, though, it drains the tactics level down to nothing and you start from fresh. So the only time you really want to do it is when you're trying to finish the fight. Done. You don't want to do it mid-fight because bad things can happen. Now, there's no mana in this game. Mana is basically those AP points. As the AP points generate, characters can do different skills, and whatever the skill costs, it just drains that much AP. Now, if you say maxed out, you go to level 5 and the AP goes to 0, well, you can't go backwards, so plan accordingly. To use items, items is a little odd in this one. For items, you get a core charge. That's also on the far right of the screen. When you use an item, it takes up so many of those core charges. You start with 10. As they drain down, you can't use your items anymore. But you can sacrifice an item by opening up the item menu, selecting a certain item, holding down X, and basically it makes that item completely unusable, but it refreshes your core charges to 10. So the more you use your items and the more times you have to refresh your core charges, the fewer items you're going to have to use. I've never run into any trouble with this, but I've only done a playthrough on normal difficulty. It can go from normal to hard to very hard, a couple in between there, all the way to legendary. And legendary will destroy you if you are not ready. It's bad. It's bad. I tried it for a couple seconds. Nope. I am nowhere near good enough to handle that. So that's the fighting system in a nutshell. On the left side of the screen, it's kind of covered up by my picture there, but you see their images kind of trickling down along with the enemy. When it comes down and meets that circle or little diamond there, that means that character's turn is ready to go. So you kind of pay attention to that, switch different characters, do whatever it is that you have to do to survive, fight, use item skills, etc. Now, alchemy, oh boy. Alchemy, I thought I was going to absolutely hate this because I just don't really care much for crafting in general. Like minor crafting stuff, sure, but in most games, I'm not one to craft a lot. I try to avoid doing that. Try to get other people, if it's an MMO, I try to get somebody else to do it for me, if that's an option, right? Well, in this one, they make it so that gathering the items is not a pain. If there are certain things that you need, you can pretty much find where they're at very, very quickly. The travel system in the map basically allows you to go from your home base, Atelier Ryza, and port to wherever it is you need to go to get those items. So, if I need a certain flower from something or some planes or whatever, I can click a button, go to Battlefield, boop, I'm there, and it literally could be right in front of me, what I need. So gathering stuff is not an issue. Gathering enough of it, that's also not an issue. So putting it together, there's your issue. Now, you have the option in the alchemy menu to kind of auto-populate stuff and make things quickly, but this game offers such a ridiculous amount of customization that it could be actually dangerous to do that. There's so many different traits, buffs, skills that you can be put on items, different components to do different things. The level of customizability, if that's actually a proper word, is insane. Here's Empel's fatal drive. Just let you guys see that for a second. It unleashes his big, huge, damage everything, crazy spell. And I don't even know if it's enough to finish off the thing I was fighting here, but that's basically alchemy. It's incredibly complex as to what you can do, but it's not complex as to how to do it. Once you make your materials, you put everything together, certain things can go in certain places. And once you figure out what you want to optimize and what you want to do, actually executing it's pretty simple. You just take the items, go boop, 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 click button. Okay, there, you made it. So it's intricate, it's highly customizable, but it's easy. And, this is the very first Atelier game in the 20 plus year histories that this thing has been out. This is the most recent one. And I have to say that this one stands alone. It's not associated with the others. So picking up this one up and playing it, perfectly fine. You're not going to miss out on anything. It actually seems to have a low entry point, which means if you're new to the Atelier series, this is a good one to start out with. This gives you the feeling for everything. Oof. All right. So Alchemy's good. Fighting system's fairly unique. The characters, on the face of it, are pretty cool. Storyline. Now, I don't want to give away too much of the story, obviously, because this is a review, but, truth be told, I might give a couple spoilers here, so if you don't want to hear anything on the story or my opinion on it, you might want to skip a little bit. So, the story, I found myself enjoying Ryza herself, the main protagonist, but the rest of the characters I ended up not caring for. It might be a little bit of a Freudian slip, but there's one character I didn't mention, and that was Claudia, the flute girl. Probably because I can't stand her. She's that typical character where, every character has a little bit of sugar to them to make them a little sweet, make them, attractable, make you like the character to invest yourself into the storyline. Unfortunately, this character, I think, ate like 20 pounds of sugar, sweetened herself up to such a degree that you just, she's tries to be overly cutesy, overly helpful, overly everything. She's a tryhard, and she's going to toot toot. I mean, God forbid Claudia ever holds a concert. Typically, her weapon's a flute. Bard type character, support character, sit in the back, buff, heal, debuff, whatever it is that bards normally do. No, she'll toot on her flute and murder people. God forbid she holds a concert. People are going to die. I don't like this character. Absolutely don't like her. I'd rather have Boss, the guy that I said you'd probably kill right off the bat in the party rather than Claudia. Claudia just annoys the hell out of me. But you know what? There's some people that like characters like that. Really super sweet. Yeah. It's not our thing. Maybe your guys' thing. Not ours. But overall, the story, I found myself paying attention to Ryza and the main storyline. That was all good. But in most JRPGs and such, it goes here, it goes there, it goes all over the place in other different areas. Any other character that they tried to develop, I found myself simply not caring about. It's a multi-pronged story, but the only prong that you care about is the primary one involving Ryza. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, but it could have been a lot better. Now, as far as graphics and audio goes, the audio, it's all good. I have no complaints whatsoever. The music's good, sound effects are good. There's nothing that stands out. There's no songs or lyrics or anything to hum or get stuck in your heads, anything like that. Nothing that good, but nothing that's going to drive you crazy either. So, run of the mill, good background music, right? Graphics, on the other hand, graphics in this game for being made in 2019, I have to say, are completely unacceptable. A game made in 2019 has certain expectations, I guess. And this game it looks and feels like Hyperdimension Neptunia. And we're talking PlayStation 2, okay? Maybe early PlayStation 3 at the most, at the best. So I have to say that overall, it's bad. It's overall just plain bad. So the graphics around Ryza herself seem to have a big focus around her, but everything else is horrible. Like, take the monsters for example. Okay, I think there's only like maybe 9 or 10 different monster models, not including boss characters, right? Like big boss characters, significant event characters. But the regular mobs that you go around and grind, there's only like 10 models. That's it. They're all just different colors. That's it. It feels like they were incredibly lazy when it comes to design variety, graphics quality, stuff like that. It feels like they dropped the ball, and they dropped it hard. They had a soccer ball, they went like this, and it fell on a fucking bed of spikes. Yeah. No. Graphics are horrible. But the interface, everything else is fine, but the graphics are just way, way unacceptable for me. Now, that's like my major point, right? So, what are the pros? Battle system's okay. I'm not going to say it's great. It's unique, but I'm not going to say that it's like this top tier new kind of crazy. It's okay. The characters themselves, the only one I've ever cared about was Ryza. The rest of the characters I never got invested into. The story never brought me in. The alchemy crafting system, incredibly in-depth, but easy enough to understand and learn how to do, so I have no complaints there whatsoever. Graphics, absolutely horrible. The audio, about average. Nothing to complain about, nothing to rave about. Ooh. So with that said, would I recommend this game? We put in just shy of 50 hours. We did a whole playthrough, maximized our alchemy to 99, crafted like each and everything that I think is in the game, maybe, except for like maybe 2 little item things. I'm going to have to say that if you're not a fan of JRPGs, and if you're not a JRPG fan, why are you in the Weeb Lounge? Just saying. But if you're not a fan of JRPGs, probably best to avoid this game. It's not going to be your thing. If you are a fan of JRPGs, this is probably right up your alley. But is it the best one to get? Is it like an awesome RPG? I'm going to have to say no. Well, we're working on a little rating system. I was thinking of either 1 to 10 uwu kitties or something of that nature. So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10 weeb kitties, I'm going to give this one a solid 6. If you're a fan of JRPGs and you like crafting, if crafting is one of those things that you enjoy in these type of games, this is for you. Otherwise, there are many other games out there that will fill your JRPG void much better than this game. And with that said, we're actually going to move on to one of the new re-released DX Atelier games. So maybe some of the re-releases of the older ones are better. We don't know. We're going to be streaming those. We stream over at twitch.tv/theweeblounge. And it's every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern U.S. time. We're going to start working on that likely come Monday, which would be, what would that be? I don't know when that'd be. It's probably tomorrow, whenever this video was made. Just tomorrow. Tomorrow's fine. Whenever. But anyways, 6 out of 10 weebs. JRPG fan. This is one to go to. Not. Give it a little bit of a pass. We'll see you in the next video.